Yo, yo, yo! Welcome everybody to the PanPod on YouTube right here. It's my new and improved podcast called the PanPod. This is a little bit of me talking, introducing you to each episode. We'll be doing one every single week, hopefully. This episode is our Suicide Squad review / discussion, spoiler-filled. All the spoilers, all the time. Roll the intro sequence. Welcome to the PanPod. Welcome to the PanPod. Welcome to the PanPod. Your weekly shop for everything comics, movies, and TV shows. Okay, hello guys.
What's up?
Me, it's Isaac. Gabby's also here.
Alright, so
Suicide Squad.
what a movie, weren't you thinking?
Right?
Honestly, I think it was very thoroughly done. Like, they really put tons of Easter eggs. They
Easter eggs were good.
It almost kind of acted as a separate movie, but it did made references to being in the DC world.
Yeah.
I think, like...
Did you stay for the end credits? Mid-credits?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it really combined the world of like the Deadpool style superhero comedy to like, you know, the Avengers style, very, you know, serious style, especially the Justice League, you know. It did incorporate a little bit of sentiment almost into its casting.
Yeah.
So let's go just a bit into like the acting.
I think
they really, each character did a very good job.
right. I think some were a bit either underused or
overused.
Overused slightly.
I feel like they relied too much, almost a little bit, on the Harley Quinn comic relief.
Yeah, I think Harley Quinn was. I heard that there was some reshoots going on. I could kind of feel the studio messing in with the movie a bit, making it more funny.
Yeah, and I find that it was almost a Deadshot movie.
It was almost a Deadshot and Harley Quinn movie.
It was definitely about those two. But okay, let's just go a bit into acting and characters.
Let's go to character by character.
So
let's start with
how about Deadshot?
Let's start with Deadshot.
So Deadshot was played by Will Smith. I thought he did a very, very, very good job.
I think this is like Will Smith hasn't been good in a while, but this was a good Will Smith.
I feel like Will Smith combined the world of both of his Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, everyone's seen that, and his I Am Legend.
Yeah,
I found he combined both worlds quite effectively. You could hear the little nod. I don't know if it was just me, but sometimes the way he spoke, you know, he kind of sometimes spoke with that, you know, Backstreet Compton LA style he used in Fresh Prince.
Exactly.
But he also brought some of the sentiment and backstory and the very skillful acting that came from I Am Legend.
There's only one problem I have with his character. It had nothing to do with Will Smith. It's just a character. Well, sort of has to do with Will Smith. Will Smith is too charismatic. Like, you like him, but he's supposed to be a bad guy.
He doesn't
seem like a bad guy.
He feels like a good person that was just caught up into bad things, which is really not true, because Suicide Squad is about bad guys.
It's about bad guys.
So, in a way, I thought he nailed the role, but I think if it would have been played by someone who was maybe a little bit more of, Harley Quinn-y, even just that tiny little bit would have made the difference between a good role and a bad role.
Exactly.
Alright, so enough about Deadshot. How about Harley Quinn?
Harley Quinn.
Played by Margot Robbie.
Exactly.
Obviously.
First live-action Harley Quinn.
And in a way, that's a very big role because there's a lot of people who love Harley Quinn.
But Margot Robbie is a very good actor.
Margot Robbie truly nailed
Harley Quinn.
I feel what Margot Robbie and what made Harley Quinn such a good character was just the way that she nailed her craziness. Like, it's like Deadshot never misses. Katana's very good with swords.
Captain Boomerang
is insane.
And has a fetish for pink unicorns.
Exactly. And Killer Croc's a Killer Croc, but I feel like she really nailed it, and that Harley Quinn is just crazy.
She was the best character in the movie, in my opinion.
You know what it was? She was a bad guy.
Yeah,
she truly portrayed
that scene in
the badness of the character.
That scene in the bar where she was talking to El Diablo, and like he told the story about his parents dying, blah blah. Not
His
his
wife
parents,
and
his
his kids
wife and
dying.
him killing his wife and kids, blah blah blah. And then she just says like, "That's good. You should own that." Right?
It's almost, I feel like Harley Quinn is truly, she really just nailed the craziness and the badness. Like, you could obviously tell, even though she didn't say it out loud, but just by the general aura of the character and the way she acted it, you could tell that Harley Quinn, not Marley Hinn, Harley Quinn would have easily killed a wife and child. Or a woman and their child. Because she really did nail the fact that Harley Quinn is not a good guy.
Exactly. One thing that I do have to mention, this is not like a bad thing at all. I did hear Margot Robbie sometimes slip back into accent.
Yeah.
Did you hear that, right?
That was, you know what? It's kind of hard, though, because Margot Robbie, especially coming from her Australian accents and whatnot, it's not the easiest thing to come back and go an all crazy American, you know what I mean? So, in a way, it's understandable.
She did say,
but when you're creating such a big motion picture, sometimes it's hard to let those things slip.
She did say Puddin' and Mr. J really good, though. So that was Harley Quinn.
That was Harley Quinn, yeah.
So, alright, talking about Puddin', let's talk about the Joker.
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto.
So,
Leto.
before we get into Jared Leto, I just think we have to mention something. We're not comparing.
We're not going to compare him to Heath Ledger.
Because Heath Ledger is the Joker.
He is the modern Joker.
Nailed it. Like, you can't even compare him to Heath Ledger.
No.
But you also have to understand that in Suicide Squad, he was also taking a very different role.
And also, he was
Heath
barely
Ledger
in the
was.
movie.
So, I don't know if you guys have watched the movie or not, but if you guys have watched the movie...
It's a spoiler.
Yeah, but if you guys have watched the movie, then you guys probably know that Jared Leto has almost a slightly romantic role.
Yeah, basically.
In the, he loves Harley Quinn, and,
he basically just the love interest for Harley Quinn. He's not a main character in the movie. You expect him to be like the villain or something. No, the villain is Enchantress. We'll get to her later. But let's just talk about the Joker.
So the Joker. I think Jared Leto really nailed that slight little growl that happens every time he sees Harley Quinn. He nailed him as a more legitimate Joker. Or not legitimate, as a more, how do you even say that?
A more crazy Joker? No.
Is a more romantic. He's a different Joker.
He's a different Joker. He's still good.
You
still amazing.
The thing is that when people saw Jared Leto play the Joker, we were all let down. But in a way, that's also not fair because we're coming fresh off of Heath Ledger's performance as the Joker.
And also, another thing I have to mention, you come to a movie thinking he's going to be like a main character, like a villain. He's in the movie for like 9 minutes. Like, not even.
He's in the movie as a bit of a... Like, I know this is going to sound wrong, but he's kind of there as a time killer. Kind of like Team Rocket in the Pokemon series.
Yeah.
Or, like, there's lots of people like that who are just generally waste your time. There's really nothing for
Even
it,
though
right?
he did, I'm excited to see him in like a Ben Affleck Batman movie, right?
Yeah, and like
if he can have a main role, I feel like he can do some really good stuff.
Jared Leto has potential, but I think they got the right person for that particular frame of Joker. All right, so now let's go down to none other than Rick Flag,
who's played by Joel Kinnaman.
You know what? I really think he did a good job.
I think he did what he was there to do, He wasn't like the best, he just did what...
He wasn't... I think he did a really good job in staying out of Harley... Okay, so it's not exactly a secret that the movie is about Harley Quinn and Killer Croc and El Diablo and Boomerang and, Deadshot, right?
Deadshot.
But Rick Flag... the actor, Joel Kinnaman, played him wonderfully because what he was there was to both fill plot holes.
Yes.
To continue the plot from moving, right? Because with such a diverse cast of characters, you need some sort of filler to push them in, right?
You need a straight guy.
Yeah.
You need the straight guy,
You need someone who stays out of the main character's way, but gets the plot going in a very, unimportant, or a very important, but like, not central way. Like that scene with the bomb planting with the Enchantress, that was, even though it was a very quick 3-minute scene, it in a way really, really progressed the story. Alright.
How about Enchantress?
The Enchantress, alright.
I have a rant about Enchantress.
Alright, so
played by Cara Delevingne.
June Moon or the Enchantress. That's a terrible name, June Moon.
Really?
Seriously,
Come on, writers of Suicide Squad. I'm talking about the comic, because it was probably invented before the movie.
Alright, well, whatever. June Moon.
Really?
Come on. Seriously. Alright, so, without further ado, let's get into her character. Now, Cara Delevingne. I'm not so sure how I felt about that play. That.
She was kind of weak, because, maybe it wasn't the actress, she wasn't given that much. She was mostly just her standing and swaying her hips. It's like, sway.
Yeah,
sway.
I find one thing that I didn't like about as the primary villain, I find that she just wasn't scary. She wasn't enough.
And even her brother, the Incubus, even with him there, still wasn't enough.
Like, you're bringing in Deadshot, Harley Quinn, all these crazy characters. And sure, even though they're all powerful, you're supposed to almost get the audience to believe that it's a fair fight,
Yeah, but in this, they're fighting people that even, Superman and stuff would have trouble taking down.
Exactly.
Right?
It's not just that, but they also, for somebody who would give Superman a run for their money, you'd figure that they'd at least make them, very, very dangerous people, right? But yet, here they are, not even being scary at all. It's just, it doesn't work well with the plot at all, it's not something
and I feel like it was wasted, and they probably should have had, the Joker had the villain. I think that would have been better. I'm not sure, though. I
feel like if they would have, there's 3 things that, in my opinion, beefs that could have been fixed easily. Was give a Joker, a very, very, very known DC important character of the DC universe. If they would have given this guy, if they would have given him a central role, more important, and made the Enchantress and her brother
minor characters, maybe part of the squad, maybe not even.
Not even minor characters, but just have them be the central plot of the story, but just at least make them a little bit more
interesting.
Pop. It doesn't work very well when the character that you're proving is your antagonist isn't antagonizing anyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Alright,
so that was a rant on Enchantress. On to the next character.
How about Diablo?
Oh, Diablo.
Played by none other than our favorite Jay Hernandez with those crazy tattoos. Seriously, who tattoos a nose on their nose?
Also, I think
more onto their acting. I think he nailed it.
Yeah, I think
Diablo was, right from
was,
point one, he was designed to be a character that kind of was reluctant to do anything, and then just kind of exploded.
He was already reformed. He spent his time in prison. He was going to spend more, but he was still already reformed. He
understood the errors of his ways and didn't want to follow through with that pattern, right? So,
and at the end, again, spoilers, he sacrificed himself.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I feel about that. I'm not sure if he would do that. It feels okay.
It was cool.
It was bad.
I'm not gonna be one to say when that happened, I was oh, bad plot choice. I was just as oh my god as everybody else, right? It was pretty stupid. How
it was awesome. Though.
We were just El Diablo, and then all of a sudden his tattoos are red, and then all of a sudden he's this giant Inca fire dude, kapow!
I know it was awesome.
It was awesome, but when you go back, look at the screenwrite, look at the play, you realize that was kind of sudden. I mean, sure,
there was a sudden character change. Exactly. I'm not sure if he would do
that. There was that one line where Will Smith, where he was like, "What if I lose control?" And then Will Smith was like, "Well, then maybe we'll have a chance, right?" Yeah. That was a funny line, but that kind of alluded to something, but nobody really saw him going full crazy Hawaiian fire dude on us, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I thought that was kind of sudden. Right?
Yeah.
All right, now
Let's go.
on to a little bit of something else for a change. How about Amanda Waller?
Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis.
Okay, so Amanda Waller was truly, especially in the way that she was acted, was truly a stunning character.
She was scared. I was more scared of her than I was of Enchantress.
Which is kind of fun. She would have been a great antagonist.
Yeah,
like, honestly.
really.
She seemed just like a cunning enemy. You know what I mean? She just seemed like someone that you wouldn't want to mess with. She's almost as crazy as Harley Quinn, which in retrospect is quite something to be as crazy as Harley Quinn.
Yeah, it is. And crazy as a Joker.
We covered all the main characters that actually have something to do.
Let's skim over the other characters.
So let's just skim over the other characters.
The minor characters.
Okay, minor characters. Killer Croc. It wasn't.
He had one funny line, which was the line where he said like where Harley Quinn says, "All of us are beautiful on the outside, but ugly on the inside, except for Killer Croc." And then he says, "No, I'm beautiful." That was funny.
That was funny. And then the only other time was when they were about to go swimming, and then they would be like, "I live here. Y'alls are just tourists." That was pretty funny.
That was funny.
But I mean, I think he was played well. I think he was played well in the way that he was a giant hulking beast.
And it was cool. And it was cool that he had that he wasn't CGI. That he was completely makeup,
which is impressive. All right.
It's impressive.
Boomerang was pretty cool.
I like
played by none other than Jay Courtney.
I really like Captain Boomerang from the comics.
He was,
and I think he portrayed him well in here. He was crazy. We could tell that he was crazy.
Crazy bank robber
He's
who
like,
likes pink unicorns, people. Pink freaking unicorns.
Then we got, who else? That's it, right?
Yeah, I
mean, what's her name? Katana.
Katana was pretty irrelevant to anything at all.
The only reason she was there so that they could, like you said, like I said.
Honestly, I find Katana was there because they needed a sword.
Exactly.
That was truly it. Which I would find kind of ridiculous because if, Harley Quinn's 44 mags with love and hate would have been right there. It would have been just as easy to fill out that plot hole. But because they needed the camera, or because swords are cooler, right? They decided that why the hell not put a sword instead of a gun?
Yeah.
All right.
Batman was in it.
Batman was in it. That was kind of funny.
I know.
It's like I gave a unanimous tip to the right guy.
But Batman was in there a lot longer than I thought. I thought it would just be the Joker Harley Quinn thing, but no, he's also in the Deadshot thing, which I thought was cool. I thought it was cool that his daughter stopped him from killing Batman. But Ben Affleck is amazing at Batman. I can't wait to see a full movie.
DC lore right there.
Right?
DC lore. DC lore. Right there in its prime. All right. So
that's one more. Wait, there's one more. The Flash.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. Stopping Captain Boomerang. Flash is my favorite character. In case you guys don't know. There might be a short film of mine coming out relatively-ish soon about him.
Is that an inside tip, Mingus?
It might be.
Dun dun dun. All right. Okay.
That's it, basically.
Back to normal stuff. That's pretty much it. Played by Ezra Miller, I believe.
Yeah.
Whatever. Pretty much irrelevant to anything at all ever.
But it was just cool to see him.
It was cool to see a little bit of DC lore. Alright, so that pretty much covers Suicide Squad.
Oh wait, there's one more thing that I want to mention before the end of the
podcast.
Well, the end of us planning on talking, and we get to more specific stuff. I think that this movie, they wanted a PG-13 rating. That's why they didn't go with actual people that were brainwashed, and they went with gooey messes. Because then they could cut them up, slice them, burn them, and nothing would happen.
Exactly. Okay, so that was kind of irrelevant. I think Deadpool got it better when they were we're going for the R audience, alright?
Right, yeah.
Alright, so if you want to see my rating, I'm giving it a solid A-.
A-.
Just purely because...
On the Superman logo.
On the Superman logo. ADC, ha ha ha. But... just purely because I think that they needed a better antagonist and a bad guy for that movie. Other than that, I thought it was great. The acting was great. They brought all sorts of great DC characters. People who followed the comics were all really, really, really happy with it.
Wait, can I mention one thing? There's no pies in the face. Those of you who know Suicide Squad know what I'm talking about. There's no pies in the face.
No pies in the face. All right. Next up is our favorite YouTuber ever, none other than Canada, our Portuguese-English YouTuber who's done half this podcast alongside me. Let's go. Let's see his rating for this great movie, Suicide Squad.
My rating for Suicide Squad, with people in it, I'm going to say starting people, but with people in it, is a B+.
B+, below my rating. Okay.
Below your rating.
So just before we get going on this one, please do tell me why are you giving it a B+? Just a little bit more.
I feel like the reason that you gave, which was that it needs a better antagonist, and another reason is that I think that they should have gone with an R rating. I know that hits a smaller demographic, but I think they should have gone with an R rating.
They should have gone full-blown adult audience kind of things. Yeah.
It was a pretty hard PG-13 too. Like it was stretching it, and also I think that Jared Leto should have been
a little bit more
involved in the plot.
Yeah.
Instead of just being a love interest for Harley Quinn.
Okay, all right, guys. So that concludes our segment of this podcast about the Suicide Squad. Great movie. If you ever want to watch it, you go right ahead.
Yep.
I most certainly enjoyed that. I don't know if you did, but
I did. I really liked
so
it.
A- and B. So I think we're gonna go with a B+. I think that's pretty solid.
Maybe I give it a B+ actually.
So you know what? We'll just leave it in between those ones. So if you guys want to go check out that movie,
It's in the theaters right now.
it's in the theaters right now, or whenever this ends up releasing.
Okay, thank you guys for watching this video. Sorry it ended kind of abruptly, but if you are watching this on YouTube, make sure to check it out on SoundCloud. If you're listening to this on SoundCloud, make sure to check it out on YouTube. So there's only one thing that I forgot to mention, listening back to the podcast, which is I love the Joker's smile. Yeah, the thing that's appearing on screen right now. I love that smile. I'm thinking of doing a cosplay for it for one of my things of the month. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Isaac's going to be in a ton of more of my videos because I don't have that much time with him. I don't spend a lot of time with him. So I'm trying to make a lot of content. Our Unleashed series, check that out on YouTube. And there'll be a link to it on the screen right now if you're watching this on YouTube. Alright, thanks so much for watching, and laters!